Right, here's a bit of a surprise. Out of the blue, Blackpool have just announced a non-rider season ticket for next year. Now, it's 50 quid and it's available, I assume, only at that price until the 4th of November. I'm guessing the pass will exist beyond that and it will just go up in price. And there's many people saying 50 quid is pretty steep for what it is. It does just get you into the park. You do not get access to any rides. You do get some of the benefits of a normal season pass, so 10% off food, off shows, off merch, etc. So there are some benefits to it. Now the park has, or Amanda Thompson herself has come out and said, it is important to us to listen to feedback and look after our guests, and we have placed large focus this year on reviewing and evolving as a park. We know that many people would like to visit us with their families and not go on any rides. And while a pay once price entry is in line with the wider industry, we recognise that there may be an appetite for a non-rider season pass. We hope people take advantage of this budget busting offer. Now, it's an interesting one because I am curious how many people will go for it as a season pass. I think the non-rider option is fantastic. As I've said in many videos before, for a long time I wasn't a massive fan because I wanted to scrap those scanners. I think they are the bugbear of that park. However, seeing the decline in visitor numbers and the fact that they have stuck onto those scanners, it kind of makes a lot of sense to bring back that non-rider. I do think this probably indicates we're going to get it on a at the door option as well, so a day price, because I can't imagine that they're only going to have, maybe 100 people will buy this ticket. Are they going to really put the infrastructure in for the scanners and doing all that stuff for that few people to turn up? So I do think that non-rider is actually coming back, and I did say that in one of my other videos recently because they have now got these handheld scanners to kind of simplify the process and make them a lot more reliable. Because let's be fair, in recent years when you've gone to the park, everybody who is there can ride, so the staff don't care and they just press the button and let you through because you're too busy fanning about with your phone or your ticket, and it's not great. The new handheld scanners, however, seem to be working a lot better on the visits that I have had to the park, so that is an improvement. And therefore, as I say, I do expect this to become a standard ticket next year. It does make you think what the price is going to be. Now, if you look at the normal season ticket, it is sort of around about the 200 quid mark. And again, if you just rocked up at the door, you'd be paying 50 quid. Currently, you never know, that might change next year. So, as long as you visit 4, maybe 5 times in a year, you've got your money's worth. So, if we make a similar assumption on the non-rider, then that would probably say that the non-rider day ticket would be around about the £10 to £12 mark. And I asked you guys in a poll a few months ago what you thought, and around about 10 quid was roughly where you thought would be the sweet spot and the maximum most people would be prepared to pay. I do think this opens it back up to how it used to be in the old days where, families turn up with Granny and Grandad who clearly aren't going to go on the roller coasters. Although I suspect I will be when I'm a granddad, but that's separate. So, they're not going to pay 50 quid to get into the park to then just watch their grandkids. So I think this is fantastic news. And as I say, I'm fairly confident this does mean we will get the non-rider day ticket back, which is fantastic. Just a quick one whilst I've got you guys. Some of you probably already know this one, but I am doing what I can to try and help out those in need for Christmas, and that means I am donating all of my revenue from YouTube for November and October to Cash for Kids, an organisation up and down the UK that helps families throughout the year, but particularly at Christmas when they need it. So if you can help directly, I will put a link in the description below. Please do give a little donation, but if not, the more that you watch the videos, the more you like, you subscribe, you share, etc., it brings in more revenue for me, and for the next 2 months, I ain't touching a penny of it. YouTube has predicted that I made 570 quid in October. I haven't had that yet, but that's what they're expecting to give me, and that will be going to Cash for Kids. I was aiming for £1,000, so I'm over halfway there. And in November, let's see if we can smash that target and help as many families as possible. There's been some other news as well. In fact, I noticed this, I was watching a video last night from Theme Park Mad, and he had spotted that there is some ride parts, or a specific ride part, now available on their retail shop for Ice Blast. And that is the flag. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know there was a flag. I mean, I know there's those kind of printed flags around the top of the ride, but it turns out there was an actual flag at the top of the ride. And they have put this up, and now they've said they've put this up for 300 quid, which is quite steep for a flag. and it's battered and bruised. You know, they've said it's authentic, it is, you know, weather worn, it has been up there, etc. Now they've said that this is the very last flag from the top of the ride, making it a truly unique collector's item for any theme park enthusiast or Pleasure Beach fan. So what does that actually mean? Does that mean Ice Blast is going? You know, many people have said, is it going, is it getting refitted? Or is it something else? Well, I've said before, I could be wrong, but I doubt they're going to put all the scaffolding all the way up there simply to demolish that ride, right? It would make far more sense in the winter season, bring in a crane, lift it down piece by piece, job done. You know, you use a cherry picker to get access to stuff and unbolt it. I don't think you would need to put all that scaffolding in. So I do think the ride is staying. And actually the fact that they have put all the scaffolding in, yes, it could be that there's just something at the top they need to get to. Again, a cherry picker or a crane is a far more efficient way to get somebody up there to do that. It does feel to me like they are potentially going to give this quite a bit of TLC over the winter season, possibly a retheme and a little bit of a paint job as well, which may then tie into them getting rid of this flag, because obviously Ice Blast in its current state, it's got the Union Jack all the way around the top and apparently a flag at the top. So, you know, maybe if they are going to tie that in a little better, it'd be interesting to see if they could do something to make it more into that Viking area. I'm not quite sure how. I know a lot of people thought if the gyro went there, it would be easier to theme into that Viking area. Not sure if you could theme in that, but, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, it is an amusement park, not a theme park. So, you know, the theming, whilst we all want it, it's not the focus, it's not really what Blackpool's all about. And I'm not expecting too much, but a paint job and maybe a rename. I mean, Amanda did say she's still calling it PlayStation, so maybe it's coming back as a PlayStation 5. Who knows? But yeah, so there is one flag available for 300 quid. Maybe gone by the time you're watching this video, who knows? But if you're interested in it, head over to the retail site and buy it. Now obviously we've got the other attraction that has been out of action all of this year, and that is River Caves. There's still no news on this one. As I've said before, the latest that I've heard firsthand from staff, and the biggest rumour that is floating around, is simply that there is a leak. I know lots of people are like, can't be a leak, doesn't take a year to find and fix a leak. What I would say in their defence is that that is a shared building with two other attractions, so Wallace and Ghost Train are both in the same building, and potentially they can't get access to the bit they need without shutting down two more attractions, which, let's be fair, they are kind of struggling this year with availability, so taking two more rides out of action is not an option. So maybe it is simply a leak and we will see it in the new year back again. On a positive note, I did check on the retail site. There are no parts available for River Caves, so they're not selling it off, which gives us some hope. Although, on a visit a couple of months ago, I did notice some new dinosaurs on Pleasure Beach Express, or at least they looked new to me, like cleaner than the rest of them. And a few of you did say maybe it is just props they've taken out of the River Caves, so who knows, maybe they have, maybe they haven't. River Caves has been around for a very, very long time, and it has had a lot of work done to it over the years, you know, changing the rooms, upgrading stuff. So maybe they've been doing a lot of work. I was trying to be nosy at Journey to Hell because, you know, you go in the back passages effectively off the River Caves. You could tell the River Caves was there, but you can't see anything, so I was hoping to be nosy, but that did not work. I think the one thing I would say is, and we've all said this, you know, it's great to see some of these things now, you know, these new ticket offers, these reduced offers, these flash sales, and a little bit of kind of news coming from Amanda that's not the usual tone, shall we say. I do think communication is still the biggest thing with this park. At the end of the day, and I've said this before as well, parks don't owe us anything. You know, we're all enthusiasts, we're keen, we're nosy, we want to know what's going on. You know, they don't need to tell us everything, but I think some communication goes a long way. There's a lot of people who bought Season Pass for 2024 completely unaware that Ice Blast, River Cave and Grand Prix were going to be out of action. And, you know, maybe that was true for the park as well. Maybe it was last minute decisions, who knows. But, you know, we're heading into the new season, and you know, season passes are available, and they've still not told us what to expect from next year. You know, will these rides be back? Obviously Grand Prix is not coming back, but, you know, will the River Caves be there on opening weekend? Will Ice Blast be back on opening weekend? And indeed, this rumoured gyro swing, will it actually show face next year? But anyway, just a little update on what I've seen on my rounds. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed this one, do the usual stuff. Hit that like button, hit subscribe. I've been Chris, you've been watching Coaster Dad. See you in the next one. Adios.